Alright, first ride of 2015. I believe it's March, or no, April, what, the 4th or 5th? Somewhere in there. And I normally wait for a good rain, good hard rain, kind of clean off the roads and get all the salt and grime off the roads. As you can see, there's still a lot on the sides of the roads there. The street sweepers haven't even been out yet. But it rained a few times there, and it's fairly clean. I just don't like getting the salt on my bike. The grit on the road, the sand and stuff isn't that great either. Hey guys. I'm just going to take it easy. It's more of a test drive right now. So, over the winter I always, do the usual cleaning. I kind of strip all the plastic parts off and tank and seat and, just all the bolt-on kind of stuff and clean all the grit and grime out from the last year. And, this year I decided to do there's several names for it. I hear it called a lot, the de-smog, or de-corking and de-smogging, and there's all kinds of different catchphrases for it, but I did all those anyway, and I can already tell a difference in the sound of the bike. It's definitely breathing better. But I went pretty much to the T is what the instructions said on the various forums. I prefer to read Thumper Talk. That's usually my go-to. And I think the actual site that it was originally, the Dave's Mod was originally posted on was 4 Strokes or something like that. I'll look it up and put a link on this video. But regardless, I went to a T pretty much of what the instructions said for the Dave's Mod. And it went pretty smooth. And so far, not a single hiccup, or seems to be running smooth. I'll get the revs up here in a minute. I kind of revved it a bit in my shed, but revving it in your shed is different than getting it out on the road and letting her scream a little bit. I don't know what the temperature is today, but I think it was forecasted to be about 4 degrees Celsius. It's pretty chilly. I'm not really looking to go out on the highway today. So we'll go for a little tour here and see what we see. Test out this microphone position. I put the side mount, as you can see, as you can tell, I put the side camera mount on my full face helmet. It was too cold to ride my dirt bike helmet today. So we'll kind of play with this a bit and make a couple stops along the way, make sure it's filming okay, and make sure the angle's good. And there's some snow for you. Ew. Make sure, yeah, the microphone's good and the angle's good. And like I said, it's just sort of a test drive. Shorts, really? Good lord. It's not that warm out, I'll tell you that right now. Even if you're working. Oh man, that's just minty smooth. This bike sounds throatier and angrier than before. It's just nice and torquey. I'd say more torquey than before. bought this bike, it came with an aftermarket exhaust on it, a slip-on Q4. And when I opened up the carb to do the de-smog, it still had the factory jetting in it. Now, it never seemed like it was really running lean per se. Again, I'm not a mechanic, guys, but from what I've read, and you know, some guys say you can do that. You can put the exhaust on and not jet it, and it still doesn't run too lean. But with the de-smog, the way you open up the air box, you pretty much gotta put bigger jets in it. And I went 2 steps up above the factory jetting. And I'll check my plug here after this test drive and see what it looks like. Now this bike's got 48,784 kilometers on it, so it does burn a bit of oil. I don't think it's drastic, but that's definitely going to impact, you know, what the spark plug looks like. I suppose if I had unlimited time and money, I would do a new top end in it, do the valves over and new rings or something, but I don't have limited time nor limited money, so St. Thomas General Hospital. We've been there before, haven't we? Holy crap. Okay, so wow. So we would never do that before. I ain't gonna do that again. If I hammered on the throttle like that before in second gear, it would not lift up like that. So more torque, yes. It's gonna do a little bit of checking things over here, make sure everything looks good. So before I left, I realized there was a little piece of chain guard rubbing against my wheel there. I just nipped that off. That was probably from hitting that jump at Swiona and stuff and having the chain guard get caught up. No big deal. Well, the chain's got a little bit of rust on it. I did oil it. If I remember correctly, I washed it, left it for 2 weeks before I oiled it, which of course isn't good. Bit of oil right there, which is probably one of the de-smog was mucking with that crankcase vent right there. I wonder if it's leaking a little bit. Check that clamp. Yeah, another thing I had to do there, the weld right there was broken, so it was blowing hot air in the corner of my air box and of course on my leg. So I noticed that just as I was finishing things off there. So a good friend of mine, Jim Carter, he's got a welder and he welded that up for me, so big shout out to Jim for doing that for me. Anybody needs a handyman for home rentals or automotive stuff, the guy's super smart, super handy, and was willing to help guys out for a couple bucks sort of thing. So if you're interested and you need a guy, send me a message and I'll let him know. A couple of excited dogs. I was lifting the front wheel up again. Feel it skipping the ground. Well, Seems smooth, man. Seems smooth in those revs. Really? There's needed somebody coming off that hill, crossing the lane to crossing the lane to avoid them garbage cans. Everybody's too lazy to pick them up. Detour. I don't want to detour that way. I want to detour this way. Yeah, that was pretty much through the rev limits right there. Well, I don't know if there even is a rev limiter on this bike. Like some bikes, I gotta just friggin' hammer on the throttle and let it pop off the rev limiter. I personally have never done that on this bike, or any bike for that matter. So, don't know whether it's got one, don't really want to find out if it doesn't. But that was definitely in the higher RPMs on this bike. And she was smooth. So I guess the only other thing I could really dial in is the fuel mixture screw, which I'm pretty sure is at 2.5 turns right now, which again is kind of what everyone that's done this mod was recommending. It was between 2 and 2.5 turns was kind of the recommended setting for that. This blinkers still don't work very good when they're cold. Seem fine when it's warm. I don't know what that's all about. When you're starting to fail and just not dead yet, or that's a known thing with these XRs. If anybody knows why my blinkers have a hard time firing off when it's cold, please leave a comment below. Wow, I can't believe how light the front end is now. That was well worth the time to put the de-smog and de-snorkel, de-smog, and blah blah blah. That diesel ahead of me there, that Ford, I swear I heard a turbo on that thing. I can smell the diesel. Yeah, I can hear it. That's factory or that's aftermarket, but I heard the turbo kicking in when you started accelerating there.